Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt
And I'm
Roast.
Jessica Bun Bun.
We are here with our Paradise Season 2, Episode 7 reaction and review. This is the final countdown, and there is nothing more that Dan Fogelman likes than taking a song that is very popular and giving us the slowest rendition ever made.
I know he is so good at that.
He is so good. I mean, this episode is big. It's crazy. There's a lot of stuff going on here.
Listen, if you guys are confused, we are here to try to help, have some theories about what exactly is going on with this huge reveal of Sinatra and Link. Is Link really her son, Dylan, or is something else going on?
Like, we'll start from the get-go being like, is this time travel? It likely points in that direction. I mean, there have been theories. We've certainly talked about them over the course of the season. We have both expressed our frustration slash concern with the show going in that direction. Now, I'm not going to sit here and be like it's 100% confirmed yet. We still don't really technically know what Alex is.
Yeah, there's a couple other options on the table here. But before we even get into anything, Paradise has been renewed for a season 3. Now, Dan Fogelman has said that he has a 3-season plan.
Yeah.
Looks like that's coming together. It hasn't been announced that this is the final season. So, I don't know. Maybe we might get more, maybe not.
Here's what's gonna happen. Hulu's executives, the same ones that enraged me for not picking up the Buffy remake this past weekend, they're going to go to Sterling's house, to Dan's house. They're going to unload a bunker's worth of money. They're gonna be like, listen, if Ted Lasso can do this, you guys can do this too. Now, I'm assuming for right now it's probably the end, but crazier things have happened at TV.
Yeah.
All right, well, we are going to dive into all of the craziness for this episode and set the stage for the finale. But before we do, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we are going to be here with all things Paradise. We're also in the midst here of covering The Pit. And since you guys already have Hulu, The Testaments is finally coming up next month. Jess and I will be here talking all about that. It's the follow-up show to The Handmaid's Tale. It's got Chase Infinity, who is just in all this Oscar season stuff. It's going to be really, really exciting.
Absolutely. From is also coming up, which is a show that we really enjoy covering here at the channel, as well as Euphoria next month. So hit that subscribe button and stick with us. And also, if you're interested in Monarch Legacy of Monsters, we are covering that exclusively right now for our members here on YouTube. It's a great way to get some extra content that not everybody here is getting. And also it helps support Matt and I here at the channel. So thank you so much to all our members.
Thank you guys so much. We very, very much appreciate that.
Okay, are we in beep bop 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 boop time travel?
Maybe. Okay, no, I think probably. The issue that I have with time travel, and I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole on all of this, because one of my big issues with it is always every show with time travel, whether it's Timeless, Doctor Who, insert your favorite here, Legends of Tomorrow, which was awesome for 2 seasons. It's the rules are always different. And this show, I don't think they have enough time to explain the rules here, because the idea fundamentally that, all right, let's assume that Dylan slash Link is actually Sinatra's son, and that then, all right, he's not dead. That would have meant somebody would have had to gone back into the past, made sure that Dylan lived. But if that's the case, why does Samantha slash Sinatra in the present not know that it happened when she wasn't aware of it? Did she herself do it? It just gets really, really confusing.
With time travel and death, it always gets extra confusing for me because, for those of you who don't know, I'm a former funeral director. And because I've worked in that industry for a really long time, dead is dead for me. That, whether you believe that dead is dead and there's nothing else, or dead is dead and you go somewhere else, that once the body is gone, the body is gone. That's what I believe after being in the industry for as long as I had been. So for me, I am having a very hard time wrapping my head around the idea that Sinatra's son died,
Yeah.
but then is still somehow able to time travel even though he is gone. And it is like what you said,
Mhm.
you know, the rules are different for time travel everywhere, and that's why it can get very confusing.
Yeah, the only thing that I can use to explain the time travel idea right now that would not make it super complicated in my head is that someone who is not Link, who is not Sinatra, went back to the past at one point, made sure that Link did not die.
Mhm.
Samantha just for whatever reason
Doesn't know.
doesn't know, is completely unaware of it, and that Link has somehow then just grown up in this new world, in this new timeline, and then is magically here. And even still, it's just kind of like, what's the point of all this? Is Link the magical chosen one then who is meant to save the world? And the magical time traveler went back to the past because they somehow magically knew this?
Yeah, it feels a lot like tinfoil hat. This is
Yeah.
what this is all about. You know, Sinatra, of course, wants to have her son back, her son
Yeah.
alive. It has made her come alive again to think that this time travel has worked and that he is out there and all that, that this might be just the first step to be like, okay, this worked with Dylan. This can work then to reverse everything that's happened so
Mhm.
that none of us are in this bunker underground, all that sort of stuff. Now, one of my biggest, I think, issues about it is I'm really believing that all of this can happen outside of the time travel. Time travel feels very like a wizard did it, you know,
Yes.
like it's just the explanation for everything you don't understand.
Yeah.
But for this show, they have set it up that this could actually be happening, that we
Mhm.
could have had this sort of end of the world, that we have this billionaire out here making a bunker and bringing all these people in. Even it is so fantastical, and I'm just like, yep, I'm eating it, I'm buying it, I believe it, I feel like we're in reality. And then you throw in time travel, and all of a sudden I'm like, too far out there for me. Magical bunker, yes. Time travel, no.
It's just no one has made any sort of scientific advancements in real world related to time travel. I feel like there has been enough science in the world that we can kind of foresee. It's sort of like The Last of Us and what's going on with like the clickers and the mushroom
Mhm,
monsters. It's
mhm.
there's enough basis there. While it seems unlikely, it could probably happen. And time travel, I don't know.
Okay, so let's then think about maybe could it be just AI and
Yeah.
that all of this is maybe part reality of what's going on and part simulation, or it's all a simulation, and that this whole thing is basically it's a dream and it's all in Sinatra's mind that she is connected to this machine and she has been for a while and she's just been living her grief in this machine.
Yeah, it's not that
I
far out.
don't I don't want that to be that.
Okay, I will give you a real world example of this from my own personal video gaming history.
All
I'm
right.
going to spoil a game that's like 20 years old, so
All right.
apologies in advance. There was this game I played called Star Ocean Till the End of Time. I loved the first 80% of it. Then I found out in the last 20% that everything I had played was all a part of a vast simulation that was being controlled, and then I had to stop the simulation. I wanted to throw my controller. It's like, I'm so invested in this world, these characters, but
Yeah.
because of what we have seen with Sinatra and her grief and her expressions of it, it's not that far out there to think that someone with that kind of money would at least want to create this other sort of possible world where something different can happen for her, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have seen a lot of just video game references throughout season 1 and 2. I mean, it was even here as well. Here's a Nintendo. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, are we getting little bits of clues that maybe this is going to be something like that?
Dan Fogelman, if you played Star Ocean till the end of time, you are a real one. Like that is like niche beyond niche
Yeah,
here.
that's the I'm just not sure how I feel about the idea that it's like it was all a dream. It was all in her head. It was all not real. I mean, we've seen that a lot already on TV. And Dan Fogelman, I mean, I just don't know that he would go in that direction because this is something that's just been done to death.
I am not completely letting go of the theory presented in our episode 6 discussion, and this feels a little bit more rooted in reality of predictor technology. Like, there is all this stuff out there, and I hate a lot of it, but that exists in the world. As you sign up for this app, and it gives you all these different sort of scenarios and percentages, and it feels like Alex could still be a construct of, based on all of this biological data, here's all these chances why this person, Jane, may end up becoming a really, really horrible person. And
Right.
I can still kind of sort of rationalize that Sinatra's using this Alex technology to sort of map out what the future is going to look like and map out how she can make sure the next world ending crisis does not happen, or how she can eventually get everybody back out there. And maybe she is going back to Alex at the end of all this so that it can run whatever its little formula is here to try to scientifically say, could this person who's just happened to be born on the same day as her Dylan, unfortunately, like, could this be her Dylan? Is there a chance that it's some other Dylan out there? Like, Sinatra cares a lot about data. Like, what is that data actively telling her?
Yeah, I mean, where it starts to get really confusing and what is the Dan Fogelman special is
Yeah.
messing around with timelines. That when we go back to where we first saw that Link is the assistant to this guy, and with Alex and all that happened with Billy back in the day, like, how far in the past was that really? Because if it was only a few years, because I mean, like, how old was he supposed to be there? Like 18,
Yeah.
19? He's only 26 now. It's not that much time. So, how was he existing on that same timeline? Like, it's all totally confusing.
The other thing we have to add to all of this is what's going on with the noses here, because we have seen in particular Xavier suffer from this, Link, Sinatra. Okay, you know what we said earlier?
Time travel always seems to make everybody's nose bleed.
Yes.
It feels like it's always the thing, like if you're gonna have a dream sequence, there has to be something like so wild that you would never see in real life, just to make sure that it's a dream. Make sure you got that fog machine going, you know what I mean? So it feels like with time travel, anything like that, you always have a nosebleed.
If we're gonna go with time travel for a moment here, remember what we said earlier that, oh, it's somebody who's not Link or Sinatra time traveled, it's Xavier, and that would explain then
For
why
sure.
those three people in particular. Now,
Yes.
I did not necessarily expect in the closing minutes we were going to learn exactly who Alex or what Alex was, but I have to get something off my chest now. We're 13 minutes in.
Mhm.
They had this long, drawn out shot of Sinatra walking into this conveyor system, being taken out there, walking again down this long tunnel. Love Island has killed this for me, because if you guys have watched this show, Ariana Madix, yeah, one of your favorites, she shows up and the narrator's like, and here comes Ariana Madix.
It's so
It's
ridiculous.
so drawn out. I was just sitting here watching Sinatra being like, Sinatra, are you about to go separate some of the couples into Villa? Like, why are you dragging this out, Paradise?
And if you're going to drag it out, then just show us what Alex is. We're all tuning in next time.
Yes.
We're not getting this far in and be like, you know what, the finale, I'm good. I got as much info. Just show
Yeah.
us what it is. We all kind of have a feeling that it's going to be some sort of computer system at this point. So why not show us?
Yeah, I think the time travel aside, it's a great, compelling ending because we're talking about a train converging on Paradise, but everything is sort of converging on Paradise. All these stories are coming together at just about the same exact time.
Yep.
With that, let's talk about Xavier. Let's give some good news to everyone. Xavier and Terry, they have reunited. Love is real. This made me very, very happy.
Okay, it made me very happy, but it also made me very frustrated with Xavier because they are all laying everything out on the table. Okay, we have so much to catch up on. This has happened. This is going on with this baby. This is going on over here with Bean. This is what's happened with Gary. And Xavier, he's just going to leave out that he hooked up with somebody else. Just off the table. Where was that to be like, listen, I thought that you were gone. I thought I wasn't going to ever get to be with you again. And Gabby. So, like, where is that confession? Because that's all just going to come together, I feel, at the end of this or next season. Just tell her.
It's a very good point.
Just
And
tell
I'm
her.
sitting here
I was really shocked that he didn't tell her. They didn't come clean.
I feel so bad because I didn't even think about this, and it's really important. I think I was just so swept up in like the romance of the moment.
Okay,
But you're right. You're
hard
right.
hat, hard hat. They should have never had that happen. Like it added zero to the story. Xavier's just he's not with her. Like it was like just this one-time deal
Yeah.
thing. Like it added nothing, but now it's added everything. And it just kind of feels like it just didn't need to happen. And it would have filled my heart even bigger if he had just said, listen, this happened. This is how it went. I feel like she'd be like, okay, I understand. It's been all
Yeah.
these years. You didn't know. You thought I was dead. Yeah.
Yeah. It could. I'm sure she would struggle on some level at first, but I think they would get past it.
Yes. 1,000% they would.
I can understand it not being the first thing on his mind when they first meet up, but here's the big but.
Really?
They
I
went on
feel
that
like
long
it,
train ride.
I feel like it absolutely would have been on his mind to be like, I slept with another woman
Well,
while you were alive. It's just I think that Xavier is a really sensitive guy and he cares so much about Terry and he cares so much
yes.
about his kids. I just feel like this character would have, when they were on this big long walk, being like, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened. He would have just said, listen, this is what happened and these are the circumstances of it. I really think he would have told her. I
I
just do.
I feel like we're past the point of no return where he could have told her and she wouldn't have gotten upset. It's like you have that walk, you have the train
Yeah.
ride. Like what?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is like
Now it's getting a bit too far.
yeah, it's like once you get past the okay, we need to get Bean, all of that sort of stuff. I understand there's a lot going on there, but there were long periods of time where there wasn't a lot going on, where you could have had that sort of conversation. And
Yeah.
also, just like you said that this hookup with Gabby didn't need to happen,
No.
we don't really need this. We don't have time for this moment to happen in the finale. Like, sure, you can throw it in there if you want to make things extra messy, but it's sort of just like, don't we have enough on our plate as it is?
Okay, listen, we need to talk about Gary taking Bean and sort of the back and forth of how Xavier wanted to deal with this and how Terry wanted to deal with this. And I was really glad that we went with the Terry way of dealing with this instead of Xavier's like, oh, we'll just take him out. It's just like, is this where we're at now? Or just that taking people out? Like, how about we use conversation? I've known this man a long time, years now. I feel like I can go in and talk to him about all this stuff. And I was glad that it worked out the way that it did. And he didn't go, really over the top with it, holding her against her will or any of these types of things, that they were able to have the relationship that they had and get to that next point. Terry was brought in by Gary saying exactly this special thing about her. You're able to be compassionate with people. You bring this wonderful special thing out of people where we're all able to connect in ways that we wouldn't be able to connect if you weren't part of this. And this it was so well done to just show that it's true, that Terry is this special and she is this person that's able to connect things in this way, where I sit back and I'm just like, Gary's sitting back being like, oh my God, I'm going to be alone. I'm
Yeah.
blah, blah. It's just like, why didn't you just get on the train in the first place? The people on the train offered for you to get on this train. Terry's on the train. Why didn't you just get on the train? None of this had to happen at all.
And that's what makes this entire situation. I went through a lot of emotions, I'll be honest, while watching all of this, because there were moments I was sitting back and being like, man, Gary's getting off on this pretty easily given that he took out Enos. But then I kind of look back at it again and it's like, what is the thing that Gary wanted more than anything in the world? It was to have this family of sorts with Terry and Bean. And there is no like police force that's going to come in here to the
Nope.
post office and arrest him. Like there's no real justice in that way. So I think the idea of Gary having to be alone and start over, it's
Brutal.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
it's the right sort of justice. It is what he deserves for the actions that he did. Like
Yeah.
I'm glad that they didn't just take him out, because I think that's what 95% of shows would have done. And
Yeah.
this is Gary having to, recognize his own sins and what he did. He was selfish. He wanted what he wanted. He acted in a lot of ways out of fear that all these things were going to happen if Terry left. And now he doesn't get any of that. Now he doesn't get Bean. He doesn't get Terry. And he just has to find some way to move forward. And I don't think we're ever seeing Gary again.
Gary, you and Ina should have just gotten on the train.
Yes.
Like, you guys could have all been together. You could have gone to Paradise and met somebody nice there. Like, it would have still been okay. But I guess jealousy just overtook everything and he wasn't able to get there.
No, and that's just a great way to end that story. And now Xavier and Terry, they move forward with this large, very messy, random family now, including Bean and the baby who has popped up again out of nowhere.
And the big secret that he has been with Gabby. So let's talk about Gabby now, because she's alive and seemingly Jane is not. We saw Jane bleeding out in the shower. This storyline, man, take it or leave it. I could have left this storyline. There is, for me, nothing for Gabby to do this season. Like, they didn't give her enough of a story that made any sense. She thinks that Jane is like a legitimate problem that could kill her, and you're just going to be like, I'm just going to keep needling this and needling that. Why? Why are you doing this? Do you need a story? I think you do. And you had this Alex story. So why are you over here needling her? And now you've potentially killed her in your own shower. So why are we here? Why did we get here?
I still struggle just with why Jane didn't take out Gabby in the first place in the last episode.
Yes.
It's the part of it I can't really get over, because I mean, we both dove really deep into this. It doesn't really suit her character that she knows that Gabby is a threat, and she's just going to be like, okay, this is fine. I'll just watch her from afar. I just don't think she's wired that way.
Especially since she has come there to Gabby's house to kill her. So it's kind of like Sinatra's trying to give Gabby, oh, don't worry. She'll only do something if I say so. And, you know, Gabby's like, that doesn't make me feel very reassured here. But sure enough, that's not even true. I mean, Jane is there to take out Gabby. Gabby's able to do the switcheroo on her. And I was even having a hard time just believing in that. You've got Jane who's like basically trained to do this, and she's gonna have one got over on her by it's this storyline didn't work. It didn't land.
No, and I think it's just also, we came off this really big episode, Jane, which I think was 95% really, really great.
It was
and not that I'm rooting for Jane. I'm certainly not rooting for Jane. It's just, you give us this huge, super compelling story arc, and then you just take this character seemingly away from us. I mean, I guess Jane could hypothetically live if we're really going big time travel. Let's all roll our eyes. Anything could happen there. But I have to assume for now that this is it for Jane.
Listen, if I have to put up with time travel, then I would like Jane to be brought back. She is a terrifying character.
Yes.
And we need a character like that in a world like this. We really just do. So if we're going time travel, hopefully she's just going to be back. But I mean, there's bigger problems going on right now. They've cut the oxygen. All the doors are opening, closing. Everything's melting down, reactors melting. There is so much going on right now with Paradise.
It's really hard to even frame what the finale looks like, because
I know
we are in this situation where, you know, Jeremy and Robinson, being this very bizarre but very entertaining tag team that we saw throughout this episode, they have seemingly achieved their goal, or at least they were about to, but then Paradise is on full lockdown. And so it is kind of this situation of what's going to break first. Can the Link group find a way to get through this lockdown when it seems like they have taken every precaution to make sure that they won't be able to?
Yeah.
I really did love, and this is probably just coming from a sports fan and somebody who watched those Chicago Bulls dynasties years, this was the best use of Cal that they've had in a while, where Cal delivers his big speech about how, you know, you think you can prepare for anything. I don't think Sinatra could have prepared for this many things at once.
No, there's too many things that are. No, his speech was so good. It really was.
Because it also just gave us that perfect little dichotomy between here is science and here is reality. And I think if there's a clue that Alex is some sort of predictor technology here, it is this idea of you can run a simulation as many times as you want to kind of predict the outcome. But it feels like every single time you do that, another outcome can then pop up here. Because if this is a situation where the oxygen's just gone, and if you don't have any way to replace it, like how long does the air then stay good in paradise? Like I can't imagine it's going to be for that long.
No, I mean, are we looking at a situation where season 3 it's just paradise is done and everybody's out? Or is it going to be a situation where everybody has to get in because both worlds are collapsing? Because if this person who was predicting everything is right,
Mhm.
outside is not going to be a place that everyone can stay. And if the oxygen levels are all just depleting, paradise is not going to be a place you can stay. So what's going to happen to everybody?
It does feel like this is a finale that's going to radically change this show, where what's coming on the other side of it, hopefully, is going to be a little bit more clear.
Right.
Like, I'm not one of these people who sits around and is like, give me answers all the time. You
No.
referenced from earlier on in this video. Like, I'm one of the few people on the internet that doesn't get mad at From for withholding information. I'm just like, I'm fine with the ride.
Man, people are so mad about From
Yeah.
not giving enough information. I mean, they did that with Lost too.
Yeah.
They just there was a little bit of information, but not nearly enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm fine with it too. From is such a good show. Let's go for that ride.
Yeah. I'm not going to be fine with it on Paradise. And I think the reason why is because, like we've talked about, there's a 3-season plan. Like
Yep.
it with From, we always still have the, oh, we can kick the can down the road. Like they can give us answers next season.
Yep.
We don't have that much time here. So I need to know what Alex is because I need to understand why Sinatra is so desperate to not let anybody know about it.
Yeah.
But that is where we are coming out of Paradise, season 2, episode 7. What do you guys think about this cliffhanger? Is this really time travel? Is it something else? Should Xavier have just told the truth about Gabby? Let us know. Hit that subscribe button and you can support us further by joining our memberships. We
Mhm.
really appreciate all the
Yeah.
support and
Thank
we'll
you.
see you here next time.